Do you have any regrets?
No, I don't.
So the question that Republicans want answered is, who was really running the country if President Biden wasn't? Brett is back with us, and John Thomas, a Republican strategist, joins us for this conversation. Thank you both. So, John, Republicans say this wasn't just a decline. It was a full-blown cover-up involving the media, the White House, Biden's own family. What proof do you expect to come out of this hearing?
Well, first of all, we need to find out who knew what and when did they know it. I think the American people deserve those answers. I think there could be some unwinding potentially of executive orders or legislation, perhaps, given the heavy use of the autopen, particularly on the issue of pardons and elsewhere. That's interesting. But you know what's actually, I think, more important than that is we need to know a lot of these Democratic figures, cabinet members, even including Vice President Kamala Harris. What did they know that Joe Biden was mentally unfit? Were they covering up, or were they too, quite frankly, stupid to know? And the reason that's important is those people, such as Kamala Harris, she might be the next governor of California. Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, might be the next Democratic nominee, aka the next president of the United States. And the American people, when they're voting in future elections, have a right to know what these people did so they can inform their vote better in the future.
Brett, how does the left argue against White House insiders who say they saw something and the fact that Biden held very few cabinet meetings?
The left is not very shy about criticizing itself. I think that's something the right is very grateful for. I think that I work at TYT, I'm the director of programming at TYT. Our CEO, Cenk Uygur, ran for president because he basically said, if no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. So our side of the left has been very vocal about Biden's cognitive decline. And impaired though he was, he did beat Trump. But I don't think you're going to there's a lot of people that are on the left who are very angry about this, very frustrated about the fact that Biden obviously told everybody, we don't need anybody to challenge, and we're going to go right with Biden one more time. A lot of people were under the impression he was only going to be a one-term person because he just needed to beat Trump, and most of America wanted that so bad that even Georgia was like, we're with you. But yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people are arguing against that. I think there's a lot of people that are on kind of the moderate left who are looking at it and being like, yeah, this is not our first presidential election. We knew that Biden was limited. We know that a lot of presidents use the auto pen, and our criticism is generally like, I think the right of the aisle is worse than the left of the aisle.
John, if Biden wasn't fit for office, what does that say about the decisions that were made under his name over the last 4 years?
Well, this is the problem. It calls into question every decision that came out of that Oval Office. Whose decision was it really? And that is a massive problem, both so we can learn from the mistakes, but also it opens up a bunch of legal questions here. Remember, these political appointees, particularly the cabinet members, they have duties to the United States and the people of the United States, not to cover up for the commander in chief. So this could open up an entire new can of worms. And I respect the fact that President Trump said he doesn't want to drag in Jill Biden, but I struggle to see how that doesn't happen in the course of this investigation, given reports that she was calling a lot of the shots. If that's true, and she was more than just a standard first lady that cuts ribbons and whatnot, the American people need to know, and I struggle to see how she can't get dragged into this.
Mm-hmm. Brett, what would you ask Biden's top aides if you had a seat in that hearing?
I think generally these hearings, I think there's a lot of this weird presupposition that people on the left are angry at hearings in general. Like, I think that the principled people on any side of the aisle would say, like, yo, if you're going to investigate something, go ahead and investigate. If we find something bad and wrong, let's act based on what, if justice is fairness, then and justice is blind, agnostic of what side you're on, let's go with the consequence for that. But I find it super sus that people on the right are like, oh, Hillary Clinton was the secret person running the White House when Bill was president. And Jill Biden was the person running the White House when Joe was president. That's the stuff that's super weird to me. I think that there's a majority of people in this country who are very frustrated with the fact that we don't know what's going on, within the walls of the White House. And, when I listen to Donald Trump speak half the time, it is an incomprehensible mass of stupidity and nonsense. And I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. He definitely doesn't know what the Constitution is. The Supreme Court told us as much. So that's the stuff where it's like, I understand that there's an instinct for people outside of the government to say, let's get, I don't like these folks who are in charge. Let's do it. I just think that this is why I love this network, because it's run by Dr. Phil, who cares about people's mental sanity, right? And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, are we having a discussion about politics, or are we having a political discussion? We have a Republican strategist on this panel right now, and he's going to have a political discussion. I would prefer to have a discussion about politics, because one is discourse in the service of power, which he's doing, probably, and the other is discourse in the service of truth. I just want to have a conversation about politics, get to the bottom of it, and do the thing that's true and right and good.
Brett, John, we are out of time. John, I can see you biting your tongue. You're ready to launch back in, and we have to have you back so you can do that next time for sure. Brett, John, thank you both. Have a great weekend. Stay with us. We have more news right after this.